And we spoke last week about Meghan's new podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder. This week, she released this trailer.
I'm Meghan, and this is Confessions of a Female Founder, a show where I chat with female entrepreneurs and friends about the sleepless nights, the lessons learned, and the laser focus that got them to where they are today. Launching April 8th, wherever you get your podcasts. Let's do this, ladies. This is not Shark Tank. Think of this as Dolphin Tank.
Yes.
These are very friendly. These are very friendly waters.
Angela, what's been the initial reaction and what are your thoughts on where this is going?
Look, I'm interested in this one. I'm a little more interested in it than I was in her last series, Archetypes. But I'm also interested in how much she's getting paid for this one because, of course, it was a $20 million Spotify deal. There's no way that Lemonada, who is making this podcast, is paying her that amount of money. So what's in it for her? And I think we now know what's in it for her. She wants to know, as Bronte just laid out, was that she wants to build a billion-dollar business and she's going to tap the brains of everyone who has done this in the past to get her there quicker. I think it's very shrewd, really smart. I actually really like her voice on podcasts, but the last one, I couldn't get past a couple of episodes because it was all me. It was all about Meghan. Now, if she can elicit great stories, great business stories that relate to other people, particularly women who may want to start these businesses, then I'm all there for it. I love the way that she's front-footed about these things. You know, she's got this whole portfolio career going on there. But as is always the case with Meghan, she brings it back to herself. So I'm waiting. I will I'll listen to one or two. I don't hold a lot of hope that it'll sustain my interest past the first couple.
Well, we're going to have to see. And also last week on the show, ladies, you'll remember we touched on Gwyneth Paltrow and the comparisons with Meghan Markle. Here is this week's instalment.
I genuinely do not understand this at all whatsoever. Do you understand this?
Bronte, what's happening here?
Well, since Meghan launched this new lifestyle company and brand, there have been a lot of comparisons to Gwyneth Paltrow because, of course, she's done it extremely successfully with Goop. So there was also, with that, a lot of speculation that there was maybe some tension or a feud between the two because, you know, every time Gwyneth put out a video, there was comparisons with things that Meghan had done. And so this kind of built into a narrative that there possibly were issues between the pair. Also because Gwyneth said in an interview, it was either last month or the month before with Vanity Fair, that she didn't know Meghan, despite them being neighbours, which felt a little bit deliberate to some people. So with all that in mind, last week as sort of the speculation reached a fever pitch after another one of Gwyneth Paltrow's videos, which was sort of similar to one of Meghan's, this video came out, the one that you've just played. So it's very obvious that they were keen to nip it in the bud. But given they weren't friends before that, as Gwyneth had said herself, clearly they've banded together now to sort of make it clear that there is no beef between them, to shut down the reports entirely and show that there's no bad blood. Look, it was a savvy PR move, and certainly it's gotten a lot of attention for both of their companies. So I suppose it's a good PR and branding exercise as well.
I thought it was great flex personally. And Angela, Bronte raised this a little earlier about Meghan has ramped up the merchandising side of things. Well, on a number of fronts, actually. What can you tell us?
Okay, let's talk about the Instagram influencer, selling her clothes on Instagram. I woke up, I saw this post, you can shop my look, and I just thought this is the most cheap and basic thing I have seen from a royal in a long time. I loathe it. I just think this is not the brand. Look, even though they're apart from the royals, she is a duchess. If you think about it, the late Princess of Wales, the mother-in-law she never got to meet, she took her clothes and she sold them to charity so that the money could be earned for good causes. And here's Meghan spruiking her clothing, which is, as I say, it's the most uninteresting collection of clothes you've ever seen. It's not the same as any other two-bit influencer is spooking on Instagram, and she's making commission off it. I have a real issue with it. I really don't like it. As for her jam, that is now about to be on the market. It's coming out in this really massive kind of oversized container. You get all this, this has got to be, how much are you going to pay for jam? $10? I wouldn't be paying more than that. That would be a lot. But it's being packaged like it's a precious $100 candle or something. So it's so, as I think, it's so precocious. It's so sort of pretentious what she's doing with it. Look, I'm sure the jam tastes nice, but it's jam. She's getting a lot of attention for it, though. And what I'm really interested in is she's using those children more and more. Remember those kids that no one was ever allowed to see, and they had to have private lives, and now they're being used to spruik everything from jam to presumably her clothes in the future, and her makeup, of course. I'm not loving it.
Yeah, and you're not holding back either. And lastly, Bronte, it's been reported that Meghan's show needs to be edited quite a bit for one particular reason. I've got about 30 seconds left for you. What's that reason?
So I'll just stress, this has not been confirmed by Netflix or Meghan's team, but social media viewers and some media personalities have pointed out that there seem to be some obvious cuts in the episodes where it sounds as though Meghan's voice has been dubbed over asking questions, and that was potentially because during those conversations she wasn't asking enough questions and perhaps was talking about herself a bit too much. There's one that people are saying is particularly evident in the second episode featuring Mindy Kaling, where it sounds like Meghan's question is dubbed in afterwards. I will stress that's unconfirmed, and I have watched the series, so I'm going to go back now and comb through it and see if I can figure out where those cuts are that they're talking about.
Unconfirmed, but definitely worth a second check. Angela Mollard, Bronte Coy, thank you so much for joining us.